entering the next stage, Alpha 2.0.
I was not prepared for that.
I got no fucking.
I just lost development from
Okay,
Hey there, Limit here, and it's been a long time. So long, in fact, that Dream became my father, Croc got a Gooner mode, and I finished my internship, moved countries, graduated from university, and spent over 600 hours making a microkernel for train traffic control. Hold on, let me guess what you're thinking. Wow, congratulations, Limit. I'm sure you're all aware by now, but this is J. Eisen, the AI VTuber created from Project J. Eisen, which is my open source project for anyone to customize their own AI companion. That's right, Elon better watch out, cause I'm coming after his $200 in like 10 years. I've got some explaining to do. Why did it take 300 hours to publish 2 versions? And why, after 2 versions, has Project Eisen received 0 new meaningful features? To put things into perspective, it took me 150 hours to first learn and write the prototype for Project Eisen. And in every one of those versions was a new feature such as a web interface or the ability to speak. But with double that amount of time, after releasing versions 2 and 2.1, the project only has the same amount of features as before, in fact, probably a little less. I mean, sure, we've integrated a ton of new services for low and high-end machines. We've got an API for anybody to build their own applications on top of, and I guess the README does look pretty nice, but I don't think I've really added anything that changes the experience. To tell you the truth, there are a lot of issues with Project Eisen. Anyone who has tried it out or frequent the streams can tell you that, well, this is a piece of horseshit written by someone who has no clue what they're doing. So the solution is simple. Just fix the bugs, right? 4 refactors, 20,000 lines of code. I could write this with one hand. Heck, I could write this with no hands.
I've played these games before, goddammit.
What's up with him? I don't know. Some problems can't be solved with a simple line change, and not all problems are obvious. Poor architecture and design choices can kill performance. Just ask a vibe coder, they'll know.
Technical debt. I'm not technical.
And maintainability is absolutely a problem, even if it's not actually performance. Version 2.1 may not feature anything big like vision, but there are so many of these changes that you don't directly see. Changes aim towards making things easier to develop, optimizing for performance, or enabling configuration. These are what we call refactors, and I'm fucking addicted to refactors. In these 300 hours, I've completely rewritten Project Eisen 4 different times, each with a completely different idea. You saw the first and utter failure that was plugins. I've already got plenty of videos on that, but it's basically interchangeable microservices. A better idea for an enterprise setting, but when you consider the fact that each of these mini projects required their own setup, its own maintenance, and its own deployment, all while not really giving much back in terms of performance, it's a terrible option for what is otherwise supposed to be a simple desktop application. I soon reached my breaking point trying to maintain the interfaces of like 15 different plugins. Each fix would take up to 2 hours to patch for all of them. So I thought to myself, you know what? What's better than one bad idea? That's right, 2 bad ideas. So I hopped onto a 24-hour stream fueled by nothing but pizza and energy drinks and started making LangChain 2, supporting fully modular, no-code AI pipelines. Then I woke up from my caffeine-fueled dreams and got hit by postcode clarity. Who asked for this? Nobody, that's who. In an ideal world, the idea of plugins is great, but in practice, you need a solid standard and a dedicated community. But as someone who talks to J. Eisen on the daily, I'm neither smart nor popular. After missing the opportunity to whip out the ukulele, 150 hours had passed, and it's only now that I decided to throw all that work down the drain. Between streaming and actually working on Project J. Eisen, I started to get a feel for all of the problems my current versions had. She's unstable, she's high maintenance, she's unreceptive, she's a bitch, she takes forever to respond, it takes too much to get going, you can't tell what's going on, but that's okay, because the essence of refactoring is promising you'll learn from your mistakes and then making the same mistakes again. But I'm better than that though. So I make the same mistakes and add even more mistakes. I could pinpoint every technical detail I had to change, but honestly I probably couldn't. Instead, what I can say is JEISN just needed to be dumbed down to my level and actually polished. And so I threw out 150 hours of work and returned to the prototype. With this much simpler codebase, I added back all of the features that were actually useful, like the million different implementations, media streaming, and whatnot. Actually though, the million different implementations is something that I do want to get rid of, because every refactor so far has been maintenance hell, but that's a future me problem. Also, I was supposed to make things easier, so tell me who made this pipeline, so I can give them a pat on the back and definitely not do anything else to them. Basically, whenever it's asked for a response, it runs this pipeline, which constructs another pipeline where each of the operations is parallelized, asynchronous, and with input and output streaming to and from the next components in the pipeline. But then I ran a couple of experiments, realized everything I ever did was useless, and now we're using the most sophisticated design choice of them all, a function call. So here I am, now refactoring the refactor to replace two failed refactors. I don't want to bog you down with technical talk, especially about architecture because, let's be honest, I'm already refactoring that refactor. But if you're making your own AI companion, just know that you don't need $440,000 a year to get the job done. You can spend zero brainpower on architecture. All you really need is just a good prompt and to get the models right. I'll make videos for everything I just learned for that later on. So that's really everything up to version 2.1. Truth be told, I've already finished 2.2, but you already know that because you watch all the streams, right? This video was supposed to come out like months ago, but making refactors seem interesting is kind of an impossible challenge. I guess there's supposed to be some meaning to these videos, so I guess I can say that progression isn't really marked by flashing new features, and regression isn't marked by throwing away features. In fact, it could often lead to the opposite. To really know what is what, you need experience. Not just experience making the projects, but also experience from using that very project you're making. Sure, refactors can be a pain in the ass, but with every iteration, even without any new features, Project JEISN feels just that little bit more usable. And if it weren't for all these live streams or the endless complaints I receive, I probably wouldn't have known just how much I hated my previous work. That's all I really want to say for this progress update. There are going to be a bunch of new videos coming out soon, catching up on all of the actual technical parts that I've learned. Also, with version 3.0 coming soon, I thought it might be time we do a little refactor, if you will, to the name, going from Project JEISN to Project Vita. Just something that's easier to pronounce, especially for an AI. Anyways, there are a lot of big changes coming, and now that I've finished my heaviest semester of school and graduated, rest assured that the milk trips won't take months again. If you're really curious about the progress of Project Vita, check out the streams where I'm often talking about that sort of stuff or letting JEISN stream. Also, join the community Discord to stay in the loop. Like and subscribe for the next time I return. I'ma get up and out of your way. Thanks for watching.